So Bryan Bulaga just signed a 3-year, $30 million contract with the Los Angeles Chargers, and I really like this move. I think it's just a great move for the Chargers. I mean, they're getting a very good tackle at a reasonable $10 million a year. You can absolutely afford to give that up for a tackle, and we've seen teams have success when they have both that good left tackle and right tackle. Specifically, the Eagles come to mind when they have Lane Johnson on the right side who could really be effective for them. I'm not saying Bulaga is Lane Johnson, but he is very good, and it's definitely going to be a huge upgrade in their biggest position of need. Their offensive line was not good last year. I think this will make it a lot better. He's never made a Pro Bowl in his career, which is a little bit surprising, but he's definitely had some Pro Bowl level seasons. He's a very talented player, and let's just get into the film study and what I like about him. And we're going to start things off with this play. So, first things first, what you'll notice is that this is going to be a run to the right side of the screen, and that's going to be Bulaga's matchup. He's going to just try to block that Vikings edge rusher right over there. So you notice how right when the ball is snapped, Bulaga does a great job, gets in position, he attacks his assigned man, which is what you want to do on those types of plays. And now at this point, for Green Bay, they're in a good position to try to run the ball. But I lied to you. This is not a running play. This is going to be play action. But Bulaga did such a good job of selling that. I mean, if you were just watching him, you would have no idea this is going to be play action. But it is going to be play action. And now at this point, watch how he's pushed that Minnesota player already so far deep because he's trying to not get moved. He's expecting the fact that this is going to be a run in some direction. He's trying to get in position to stop that run. So now, I mean, at this point, that's just too easy of a block to make. Rodgers has all day to make a throw, and when you give him all day, Davante Adams is eventually going to get open, and he makes that play. So that's kind of what Bulaga can do in a lot of ways. You run a play action like that, you can give a couple extra attention to some of these other guys and let him be the guy who's making that one block. It was a really good job of selling that it's going to be a run block by attacking. Usually if it's pass blocking, you just sort of hang back. But he did a good job of selling that it's going to be a run block while still keeping his assigned man in front of him, which is not easy to do, but he pulled it off very well. There's really some great subtlety in his game, and this play is a great example of it, where he's going up one-on-one against Danielle Hunter, so obviously a great player, and Hunter, like most edge rushers try to do, will try to get around Bulaga like that. Hunter's not going to go too far around, but he will try to get around Bulaga, see if he can get the Rodgers that way. But look at what Bulaga is doing, and notice how he's just not quite as far to the right as he usually is. It's very small, but he usually will just be a little bit further over, because at the end of the day, as an edge rusher, you don't want to break in between the tackle and the guard unless you know you can get away with it, because if you don't, you give up containment and the quarterback can run as far as he wants, and with Rodgers, that's a very bad idea. Of course, you would think the disadvantage is now it's going to be easier for Hunter to get around Bulaga, but watch how he just sticks that right arm out and gets that hand placement so easily. I mean, you'd think that all you have to do if you're Hunter is just knock his hand away and you could get to Rodgers very quickly, but that didn't happen because Bulaga just has that hand, or it was like one of those like cartoons where there's like a metal hand that just reaches out and grabs something, like what's it, Inspector Gadget or something. That's what it's like. He's like Inspector Gadget with the way that he can do that kind of thing. And now, as you see, there's easily a halfback who's going to get open and be able to make that catch, and then he runs the rest of the way in for a touchdown. Does that touchdown happen with a normal tackle? Probably, but it was a lot easier for it to happen because of Bulaga. And, obviously, screen passes, not the most difficult thing for a tackle to pull off, but he pulled that one off amazingly well, so I thought I'd bring it up. There was also this play where this will kind of be a better example of, this is really just a typical play where what's going to happen is that's where his matchup is going to be, just one-on-one matchup, nothing too fancy, and after the ball is snapped, you notice how far he's willing to move outside. There was that last play where he didn't move that far away, but keep in mind, that was intentional, and now on this play, he is making sure that he just keeps perfect pace with his assigned man, because at this point, what can you really do? You can't get around him because he just has too good of footwork where he's almost always along with you. Again, it's like a comparison of like one of those video games. Like, wasn't there a thing in Crash Bandicoot that would like follow you whether you went to the left or the right? Maybe that was a different game, but it's like one of those things where it's like he's designed to always be around where you're at. And at this point, you have no choice. You have to try to just power through him, but that's easier said than done, and it's just a great block by him. And, Rodgers again makes a deep ball down the field and throws a big pass. But the important thing is the block, a really good block by Bulaga on that one. And we'll show one more where this is again a one-on-one matchup. I'm not going to show two more. I'm not sure why I said one, but we'll show this next one where what's going to happen is that, so that's where Bulaga is. He has a one-on-one matchup, and right after this ball is snapped, notice what Bulaga is going to do. You see how he allows his assigned man to initiate the contact, and then he just puts his hands back on. He's going to allow basically him to sort of have his opponent's hands to the inside of his own arms. Doing this is a little bit risky because it does mean that you're kind of giving up some of your power, and this now means that it can be easier to push you back and essentially push you into your quarterback, which is obviously the last thing you want to have happen. But Bulaga is so strong. Watch how he's able to hold on. He does not give up enough, and he's able to make that block. That play ended up being a touchdown. Quite frankly, it's probably not a touchdown if Bulaga wasn't as strong. In fact, it's definitely not. If he gets pushed back, Rodgers is bumped, he's not making that throw, and it's not going to be a touchdown. So that kind of goes to show how important the tackle position is, where really every positive play, part of it has to be, well, also the offensive line did their job, I mean, maybe there's a few where that doesn't end up happening if a quarterback just is able to break a tackle or get around a guy. But 99% of the time, when there's a good play, the offensive line did a good job on that good play. It's very rare that doesn't happen. I also wanted to show this one play. This isn't like this outrageous play. In fact, the run itself didn't even go for too much. But I like it, and I think this is something the Chargers can use when they run the ball. What's going to happen is that the right guard and then Bulaga, who is their right tackle, double team an interior lineman, and then Bulaga gets off that block to block a linebacker. So again, this is kind of something you'll see guys do fairly frequently, but I thought Bulaga did a really good job here. Watch how quickly he gets off that initial double team, gets up to a linebacker, gets in position to make that block. Granted, it didn't matter. The run didn't go very far regardless, but he did a very good job on that run block. He is a very good run blocking right tackle, and I think that matters. I think the Chargers will be able to use that well. The fact that he's good in the screening game will definitely be a good thing for Austin Ekeler, who, how many big screens did he have last year? So many. And having a guy who can be good at that type of thing, who can also run block, and of course, most importantly, can pass protect, which could be even more important with a guy like Tyrod Taylor, who definitely will hold on to the ball for quite some time. It is probably fair to mention that he did have some injuries early on in his career, without a doubt, but it seems like he's been doing a pretty solid job of staying healthy as of late. He played in every game last season. He did play in almost every game in 2018, so, I guess that's the idea, is that, listen, yeah, this guy has had some injuries, but he's still a very good player. He's 31, which is not that old for a tackle. It is, it's not young for a tackle, but you can still play at 31 at a high level, and you're getting a guy like that who potentially, when he's healthy, can be not just a good tackle, but a great tackle, and there is some logic in these kind of signings of someone who maybe has some injury problems, but at the same time, every player has a chance of getting injured, and sometimes certain guys just stand out more. So maybe if you can go out and sign a guy with some injury problems, then if they don't get injured, you're getting better value than somebody else who never had those injury problems. And at the end of the day, injury luck is a part of sports in general, so if you get lucky and your guys don't get hurt, you could have a massive advantage compared to everybody else. I do think that the Chargers could be a kind of a scary team next year. They're such a weird team. I could honestly see them going 5-11 again. I could see them going 11-5 again. That offense looks loaded, quite frankly. I do think Taylor's pretty solid. I think he is, he's always kind of been that lower tier starter or top tier backup, but who knows, maybe he'll take a step up. Now with the Chargers, it's totally possible. It's not like playing for the Bills or for the Browns were exactly great situations for him. So maybe it will, when he's in a better situation, play a lot better. I could see that happening for sure. But while everyone will blame the quarterback, the reality is that I just think that this team now as a whole is looking a lot better, and it'll be very interesting to see how they screw everything up this year, because let's be real, it's the Chargers. I'm just kidding. Don't hate me in the comments, or do. It's your life. I like the move. I think it makes a lot of sense. And again, $10 million a year is not breaking the bank for a good right tackle. I think it makes a lot of sense. That's my opinion. I'd like to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below. Is this a good signing? I think we'll probably all be in agreement here, but you never know. Sometimes people surprise me. So let me know in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.